Welcome back to the channel. This week on the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, we check out the onions that I've been curing and give them a little tidy up. We head off outside after the rain earlier this week and do a wee bit of harvesting for dinner. And we head back out into the greenhouse and give it its final tidy up and removal of all the summer plants, except for the chillies. The chillies get a little tidy up and a bit more TLC. Come potter with me in the garden. My name is Dawn and I am the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. Good afternoon. It's Tuesday and it has been horribly cold and wet outside. Yesterday started off at 6 degrees. Not a good day. So I've spent the last couple of days lurking inside doing bits and pieces, and one of the things I'm doing today is just going through my onions and working out what is dried enough to be used. So I go through how I'm grading them at the moment. So I'm looking at 4 different grades. So there's the ones like this that are a bit soft in spots that I'm going to chop up and freeze. There's these ones here that need to be used soon as, and I'll just pop them in the cupboard for their use. Then I've got a basket of ones that need to be used up soon, but not rapidly. They just need to be used sooner rather than the rest. And then I've got these ones which I'll put in a net bag and I'll pop them in the garage because it's nice and cool in there, and these will be my longer term keeping ones. So I've only just started a wee while ago, so thought I'd film it and show you what I was up to. Now most of the onions are like this, nice dry crispy end, and the papers have gone to nice papery like. However, not all of them, and this one will just get placed back on. So you can see that green there, so it hasn't dyed back properly yet. And I have checked this to make sure that it isn't actually re-sprouting, so that's not a new green shoot. It's still quite meaty, so I just need to watch this, but it's not a new green shoot. The onion isn't sprouting and feeding off itself. It's nice and firm, so that's all good. That just needs longer. And I would say probably about 75% of my onions are at the point where I can, like this, but I do have probably around 25% still looking a wee bit in need for longer. One other wee thing about your onions and when you keep them, your red onions generally don't keep as well as your white / brown onions. So this red one won't keep as long as this. Now this is actually a pukekohe long keeper, so they're ideal for growing and then curing and having in the cupboard / like mine and going to be in the garage over winter, so that you can keep using them all the way through winter. So a lot of people will know what to do with their onions when they've dried out like this, but for those that don't, I'll just go through it. So you don't need to do a lot. I'd already brushed off the excess dirt before I brought them in, a day or so after I had lifted them. I did that. But now I need to get them ready so that I can store them. So it's not too complicated. It's just get rid of this. Don't cut too low dough, so leave a little stalk. And then just give it a quick trim so that all the dry bits there are gone. Okay, and then any really loose stuff can just flake off, just saves it, see, like that. Don't need that, but that would be as far as I'd go. And that's the same for red onions and white onions, so there's no real difference between what you do to prep them. And then that one there, because it's red, I'll just pop in the basket here and use that within the next month or two. See how I go with them. With onions like this one, when I started peeling off the excess stuff like this, I noticed that there was reasonable amount of mould on it, so I just was peeling back, and then I noticed that there was actually quite a lot of moisture up against this part of the skin. So I decided that this one hadn't cured particularly well. It was perfectly fine to eat. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm actually going to chop them up and pop them in the freezer, and then I can just use it as frozen onion and things. So like tonight we're having a bolognese. I've already grabbed some frozen onion out of the freezer, tossed it in the pan, ready for me to use as my onion for my bolognese. Really helpful. Right, I'm going to get on with that. You don't need to see me doing piles of that. And hopefully, tomorrow being Wednesday, I might get out in the garden in the afternoon. I've got appointments in the morning. But Thursday and Friday are meant to be particularly good considering the nasty weather we've had. So I'm definitely going to be out there, and we'll catch up with a few things that have been on my get round to it list for a bit. It is Wednesday. I had to think there for a minute. Wednesday afternoon. So the rain stopped, thankfully. Grass is really wet. Garden's really wet, but I've nipped out to the garden to grab some beans and some carrots. Just got the carrots, so they're looking good. So nice big bunch. Okay, and Beau's just coming over to see what's going on. He's feeling a wee bit under the weather, so he's been asleep inside for the last couple of hours, but he's obviously heard me come out into the garden. But as you all know, Beau's a bit camera shy, so he's toddled off out of camera range at the moment. So I'm just going to nip over, grab some beans. It's literally just on the other side of this alley from the carrots, and they're almost at their end. Might get another picking out of them. There's still looks to be quite a few small ones that, you know, hopefully will get a wee bit bigger. I don't want them huge because they get a bit tough and stringy then. So I might get another feed out of them after this. But yeah, so carrots and beans for dinner tonight, so that's what I'm out here at the moment doing. Okay, you're not going to be able to see a lot of me, but I just sort of wanted to show you the state of the beans. They're pretty knackered. Yeah, I mean, we've had some cold nights. I woke up the other morning, it was only 6 degrees, so yeah, garden's not going to love, well, the summer loving plants are not going to love that. So there's some nice wee beans on here, as you can see from there. So I'm just going to pick my way through these and the green ones and hopefully get enough for dinner, and that will be a nice wee treat, but could be my last one depending on how things go. Well, fresh beans from the garden anyway. So we feed, not as much as I thought that would be in there, but enough for dinner. Some of the bigger ones like that will probably be a bit too tough to eat straight off. I'll probably chop those up and freeze them and do them for casseroles and stews. They tend to get a bit tough and stringy, but probably enough just for a wee feed for each of us, with the carrots and whatever else we have for dinner. Just spotted that there is some tomatoes ripening, which is surprising because, yeah, they are really getting past their best. So we'll go and have a wee look at that. So these are my outside money makers. As I said, we've had really cold weather, so I wasn't sort of expecting much, but yeah, there's a few here that are ripe. Some of them not quite so ripe, so I'll need to get something to harvest them with. But yeah, see if I can find one that's fairly ripe. It'll come off. There we go. So yeah, not the best angle, sorry. Trying to get everything fitted in. So that's all right. It's a good eating tomato. I'm going to have tomato on toast for lunch tomorrow. And I think I've said earlier, I like my tomatoes on the slightly greener side, yeah, not quite ripe, to eat. So this one will suit me quite nicely. Okay, that was a nice wee haul. You can see they're in with the beans, but yeah, one or two already on the ground. As I said, the weather's been there, so a couple of them come off, but I'll see how they go by the weekend and make my mind up whether I'm going to just harvest them and try and ripen them inside. I think looking at them, most of them will. There's quite a lot that are turning, and a lot of them that are nice and shiny. But yeah, if we get many more cool nights like we have had the last week or so, yeah, the plant itself is just going to give up, so I might as well just pull them. And just next door, I've just had a quick look at the capsicums, and they're just starting to turn on the vine. So fingers crossed that in a few days' time, or a week, or what have you, we might have something. It's meant to be warmer tomorrow, and Friday and Saturday are meant to be quite warm. So might be enough just to give them a quick kick towards it, but we'll see. But anyway, I think I'll give it up for today because that wind isn't actually that nice. The sun's out, the wind's cold. And I'll go and sort these beans out and the carrots and have a chill day. So catch you later. Good morning. It's Thursday, and I was going to hang out in the back garden, but I stuck my head out and the easterly is just too cold. So it might improve this afternoon, we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, I nipped out to the greenhouse on my way to doing some watering, and not happy. So last week I cleaned out all the tomatoes and a few other things like the cucumbers and one of the eggplants and things like that. And I found, must have been at least 100 caterpillars in here. And I thought by doing that, getting rid of them, that it would reduce the burden on the other plants that were here. And I did check a lot of the other plants, but as you will all know, caterpillars are green, and well, these ones are, and they are hard to find and see. So as it was really cold and wet Monday and Tuesday, I didn't get out into the greenhouse, and I didn't really bother about it yesterday because the weather was still so I just left it with the door shut, trying to keep the warmth in so that other things would ripen. Yeah, well, the caterpillars have had a party. And it's really disappointing because stuff that I did leave in here has got absolutely hammered by them. So one of the most disappointing things is the sugar baby melon. I only got one. It's tiny. It never really did much, but it appears that something's been munching at it. And yeah, I've got a photo. I won't drag the camera up because it'll be at an odd angle, but I'll pop the photo up here and you can have a wee look at it. So I will harvest that today, and what else I'm going to do is I'm going to actually harvest all the peppers as well. Their leaves have been stripped right back, quite a few of them. So I might as well just harvest them, take them inside and ripen them inside. The other eggplant too, yeah. You can see that we've had snails or slug in here because it's covered in slimy trails, so I'm just going to pull that out as well. So yeah. However, I did notice something really positive. There always has to be a positive. My first chilli, my red one, has coloured up. So I'll pop the photo there of that. And I haven't quite yet got the photo, so I hope to be able to get a photo of the orange habanero, looks like. I'm pretty sure it's the orange habanero. One of them is colouring up. So once I get rid of all the other stuff, I'll pull them out and we'll have a closer look at the chillies. Really, that will be it then as far as the plants that I planted for summer in here. The passion fruit vine is still going, and I need to somehow find where I've put these clips that go into the side of the greenhouse, and it just needs tying up because it's heading towards the door now, which is good. That's what I was planning for it to do, and it has stayed the majority of the time in the area that I want it. The wee bit back here has got a bit bushy, but once I move the chillies out, that'll give me better access and I'll be able to give a wee bit of a autumn tidy up. But in the meantime, we'll probably do a bit of speedy and a bit of music as I try and harvest all this stuff that's left in the greenhouse, bar the chillies. the greenhouse clear of everything except for the chillies. I'm sure one of the questions I'm going to get is, why did I not winter over my capsicums? I have tried in the past, and I've wrapped them with fleece, I've done the whole 9 yards, everything it says to do, and they still don't make it. So it's just not worth it for me. Some of our winters can be mild, and potentially, yes, they could get through. But if we have a lot of frosts and what have you, it's an unheated greenhouse, and even with frost cloth and things like that around them, fleece, they just don't make it. So, yeah. The chillies, I've tried them in the past as well, and I've had no luck. But I'm still thinking about wintering over the orange habanero and the lemonade. So I'll see what they're like once I get them out from where they are down the far end. I'll do that after lunch. It's lunchtime now. So I need to go and have a break. So yeah, we'll see. But in the meantime, I was going to show you what I did get. Just found this little sod on my arm. He's biting me, I think. But yeah, this is what's been eating all the stuff in here. These bloody great big sods. And they are hard to see, but yeah. Right, back to what I was going to show you before he bit me in the arm, that sod. Didn't know caterpillars bit. Anyway, so I got quite a few of these. These were my red Marconi capsicums, so they're a long, sweet sort of bullhorn thing. They're just turning. They would have really been, ready a month ago maybe. I've had them in the past. They are yummy, love them. Had them in like late January ready to go. These are only just starting to turn, so I'll pop them inside and see if they do turn. I'm going to have to clean them first because I've got ants on them. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get, if they don't turn red, they don't turn red. I'll just chop them up and pop them in the freezer as is. I'll give them a week or two, see how they go, because I don't want them to go soft and squishy inside, because that's what can happen to them if they're left inside too long to try and ripen. So I may just see how they go. This is my poor old sugar baby. He's got well and truly munched by something. He doesn't feel ripe. He doesn't smell right. I think if I cut him open, he'll be as green as. I will cut him open and I'll pop a picture up here and we'll have a look. But yeah, not holding much hope on him. This is the largest of the Hale's Best rock melons. As you can see, he's not huge, but actually that's around about the size you want them. Bigger would be nicer, but I don't think I'd get them much bigger. He looks like he may have split at some stage. He's got a sort of scar down there. Not sure why. But yeah, he's not ripe. He's not showing any of the ripe signs around there. So I've got the other ones from when I did the first clean out, tidy up last week inside. I'm going to split one of them open today. There's one that might be ripe. I'm not holding my breath, but I'll pop a photo of him up there. These need at least another week. So other than a few more capsicums, which I think were the cornetto ones, yeah, I think that's one. Yeah, that was about it from the second clear out, or the end of the clear out. So I'm going to go in for lunch, and then we're going to haul out the chillies and have a quick look at them. I said at the beginning, there's one that's almost ready on the cayenne, and I did spot a bit of colour, and I'm pretty sure it's the orange habanero. So, oh, I'm excited. Yeah, I know, I'm sad, but, things like that do excite me. Right, lunch over, back in the greenhouse. So I've just pulled the orange habanero out and had a quick look at it. Unfortunately, it's got the dreaded whitefly, so I'm going to have to deal with that. And I can see that something's been nibbling at it. Not quite sure what. I would say those caterpillars aren't silly enough to actually nibble at it, the big nasty ones, but then again he took a bite of me, so who knows. So looking at it, I don't actually have that much on it for all the work it's probably done. There again, probably my fault because it's been in the back of the greenhouse. It has been watered and fed regularly, but it's probably been starving a wee bit for light, being stuffed back there with the melons and the cucumbers who have probably been overshadowing it. The heat, again, hasn't been great. I mean, there's been a few days that the greenhouse has got up around the 30 mark, which is about as high as you want it, but predominantly it's sort of cruising around 20, and that's with the door closed, so it's just not been great since Christmas. So maybe if we'd had more heat and more everything, it would have done better. I'm still thinking about whether I'll winter it over, because it would be good to get a little bit of a heads up on next season. It's got a load of flowers on it. Whether they get pollinated is, I haven't seen that many bees or anything. They're a nice wee flower though. They're a wee white flower with a little purple centre, so kind of cute. I do have two, which I think ripe ones. They're orange, and two reasonable sized ones because habaneros don't grow huge, and one tiny one beside it. And I think I saw, oh yeah, there it is, another green one over here with a baby one beside it. But other than that, there's not that much fruit on it. So, plan for this one. Going to remove a few of the bottom leaves just to give it a bit more air. Give it a feed, give it a water because it's due for water today. And as much as I hate to say it, I'm going to have to spray it for whitefly because really I've just got no other option. I've tried everything else, so it's going to get sprayed. Now, re-caterpillars, I think I have probably removed all those that were in on the other stuff. Now, whether there's some hiding here, I have looked and I can't see anything, but there's a lot of leaves, so yeah, I'm not going to catch every single one. So, plan with orange hab is tidy them up, spray them, feed them, water them. So that's plan one. So now I'll have a quick look at the lemonage and decide if that needs similar, as well as the cayenne. Okay, Mr. Lemonage. Sorry, there's a thing on my face. He's actually got a lot more fruit on him. I can't see any of it colouring at the moment. He's a bit spindlier, entirely my fault because he's been at the back trying to find light. He has an absolute heaps of flowers at the top. So, yeah. So similar to the orange hab, I'm just going to tidy him up, really. He has got some holes on him, but not as many as the orange hab. And he's got some white fly on it, but not as bad as the orange hab. So, okay. Put him to side and have a look at the other one. Not a great angle, but it is what it is because we're in the greenhouse. So this is the standard cayenne, and he's got a good amount of fruit on him. He could have a lot more, and I've had a lot more in the past. Some of them are starting to turn red. I've actually just saw another one, so I've got two that are red. One that I actually might even harvest today. But he's got a bit spindly too. So, sorry, that's the other one. Sticking his head in. So yeah, he's got a few more holes in him, but he's not too bad. So I think I'll just give him a quick tidy up, tie him in, do the same, and he'll have a feed and a spray as well. So I will get on with it and see how we go. I found one of the little buggers that's been eating the chillies. I think you can see him there. So yeah, little sod. Anyway, he's going into the green waste bin. So that's that done. I've been mucking around doing a few other things. So it's now after 3 o'clock, so I'm about done and did as much as I'm going to do. Lou came in for a quick visit. He's not a great greenhouse hanger-outer, but because it's a lot emptier than it has been, he puddled around for a few minutes.
I've got a kitty, kitty, Kit Kat. It's got a kitty, kitty cat man. It's got a cute pussy cat hat, and his claws go pitter-pat. Wow! Meow! Fur! And though it's got a cat attitude, it's cat-tastic and awesome! Cat, kitty, kitten, pussy cat. Meow, meow, meow. Scratch. Scratch.
So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with where I am with the chili peppers. So I didn't harvest the red one. I might give it another couple of days. I'm going to get a couple more warmer days. So the 2 orange habs, I'm just going to, because this is the first year I've done orange habanero and the yellow, no, what are they called? Lemon argy. Sorry, brain freeze. I'm not really up with on how they are supposed to be when they're ripe. I mean, definitely they've got to change colour. So the orange one is orange, but how orange, I'm not quite sure. So I'll do a wee bit of research on that. The lemon argy, I can't quite see it at the moment. I did see it before. There's 1 or 2 that are starting to change colour on the, just darken. So yeah, I'll do a bit more research exactly when they're ready. One thing I have learnt about them is that it doesn't matter if they ripen or not. If the summer hasn't been particularly hot, they won't be particularly hot. So and definitely if I ripen them inside, they'll have less heat. So the heat of the chili is correlated to the heat that it's been growing in. So that's okay, because I don't really like hot chili. I can only take the tiniest wee bit of cayenne chili before I sweat for about 4 hours after. I love the taste of it, not always that keen on me. But, you know, it is what it is, and I have family who love chili, so it's not going to go to waste. I've still actually got some chili powder from last year, I think it was. But yeah, so for me, I don't usually cook with them fresh. I probably should, but I don't. So yeah, I'm going to leave these chili plants in here as long as I can, as far as you know, ripening and things. Sorry, I know there's background noise, but everyone is out mowing their lawns because we had so much wet weather. Yeah, so anyway, I think I'll probably leave that there now. I'm just wittering on. And the weather's meant to be good tomorrow. I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing tomorrow because it will be dependent on the wind. If it's a roaring easterly, I won't be out the front, and there's a lot of work to be done out the front. If it's a roaring easterly, I'll go out the back. There's still a lot of work out there. So we'll just play it by ear and see how things go. But catch you later. Well, it's that time of week for a coffee and chat. No coffee today. I've got some rhubarb cordial, which I made during the week. If you're looking for the recipe, it's on my Facebook page, The Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. Really simple, tasty, and you can adjust the sugar to your own level. So what did we get up to this week? Well, we had more yuck weather at the beginning. It was 6 degrees on Monday morning. Garden did not appreciate that. Well, I mean, the garden is in the summer stuff. My scallopini has completely given up, so that's coming out either today or tomorrow. It's actually Saturday at the moment, Saturday afternoon, so I'm a wee bit behind schedule. So yeah, probably come out tomorrow. I've still got a bit of editing to do. The week did pick up Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday was still quite cool. The wind was chilly willy. But yeah, Thursday and Friday were good. Got out into the garden when I could. So the first thing we did for the week was check out the onions that I've been curing, and they're looking really good. About 75% of them are ready, and it's just a matter of going through them and chopping off the stalk bit and tidying them up a bit. Now, not everyone does what I do. A lot of people leave the stalk on and use that to hang them by or plait it and things like that. I just like doing it the other way. I've got some mesh bags that you can hang your things in, like onions, and I'll just hang them in the garage where it's cool but dry. Then we nipped out into the garden for a bit, and I did a bit of harvesting for dinner that night, and the beans are basically done. I'll probably strip them out in the next day or two, get what I can out of them. The peas aren't looking much better. Yeah, they may have to come out too. They are just unfortunately got really bad powdery mildew again. They got knocked over by the weather. I have tried to pull them back up again, but they've just fallen over again. So I'll get what I can off them, and I'm wanting to starting to get my autumn veggies / winter veggies in. Autumn's looking a bit, so I'd like to get a wee bit of growth before the winter slowdown. So I really want to get them in. Then we spent considerable time in the greenhouse, doing the last of the tidy up in there as far as the summer stuff's concerned, with the exception of the chillies. So yep. All that's inside now, and I've got the capsicums ripening, and some of them are turning really quickly, so that's good. But probably next week I'll decide, I'll just chop them up because I don't want to leave them out too long, because they will start to wizen up a bit. Not ideal, but I want to keep them so that they're still looking relatively nice and crispy. And green capsicums are just unripe capsicums, so yeah, they're just as tasty in your casseroles and stews and soups and things. Melon wise, you'll have seen the photos in along through the vlog. Yeah, hubby had one of the melons, the one, I think it was the second one, and he said it was nice but not really sweet, and I think that was the Western Express, I think. But and the Hales Best is the one that's still ripening. I opened up the watermelon, as you can see in the vlog. It wasn't great. Half of me really wants to do another one next year, but the other half of me saying, don't be dumb, you've only got so much room in your greenhouse, is it worth it? So I'll have to really seriously consider that one. The chillies looking good. So I did do a wee bit more research. So the orange hab needs to be quite a bright orange, and at the moment it's sort of a pale orange. So I haven't harvested any of them, so that's fine. I'll leave that for a bit longer. I didn't actually harvest the wee red chilli. Might do that the next day or two. I just forgot. And yeah, so I might get round to it. And the lemonage, so that's sort of turning slightly dusky in some parts of them. Apparently, doing a bit of reading up and what have you, that's the first stage of them turning, which is awesome. And according to what I've read, they should turn quite quickly once they start getting that dusky colour and go yellow quite quickly. So we've had 2 days of warm weather. Today's warm, being Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday, is meant to be warm before we get some cooler weather at the beginning of this coming week. So fingers crossed that the warmer weather will just help them turn. So I think in some of my stuff I have referred to my Facebook page. I do actually have a Facebook page called The Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. So I post on that a couple of times, 2 to 3 times a day. So if you're looking to see what I'm up to on a daily basis, come over and have a look. It will be, the link is in the description. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't give me the ability, for some reason, I'm not sure why, for the links to be clickable. So you just need to copy them and then drop them in, and it should bring you to the Facebook page. But if you're in Facebook and you just type The Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, it should pop up for you. And if you go over and have a look, please follow. I really enjoy seeing people over there, and the more followers, the better. It's, part of the fun. And if you're visiting this channel for the first time, please do subscribe, join the family, come and see what I'm up to every week. It's usually something to get up to. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there now. It's a bit hot here. Lou's lurking. I think he's taken off into the carrots because it's too hot for him. Beau is asleep somewhere. He's taken to finding new spots to sleep. And Beau, being more of a cat, tends to spend a good part of his day asleep. Lou, on the other hand, is a bit hyperactive and is usually bouncing around, but he wandered through before and it was too hot, so he disappeared into the carrots. So if he's still there, I don't know. I hope you have a happy and safe week and that you have fun in your garden. But from me, for now, bye.